Yeah.
They're on this side here.
Here, I have a computer for you to pull over that you can both. Here. Just didn't want.
You gotta play for mayor on Tracy. All right.
This is only supposed to be for the council and the administration and that, so.
We get you chair,
Yeah, you can-
mayor on. Okay.
I'm hoping nobody trips on that, but here you go, honey, you're all. Okay,
What is this for?
this is for the Zoom, so when you guys talk,
Mhm.
so you and the mayor have to, we did the best we could at short notice.
Mhm.
Tracy, come here first.
All right, just to make sure nobody trips right there.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know. No. We'll give about 15 minutes and maybe then we can get started. Corinne.
You need to turn off the lights on the computer.
All right. Here's Willie Hemmings. Is that for color? There's seats around there. This is for the mayor and all them around these partitions. Hello, Willie, how are you today?
Oh, I'm sick, so I might have to use my room.
Oh, okay. Did you pass the thing to get in here? All right.
Councilor Morgan, can you hear me? Councilor Morgan, can you hear me? This is Councilor Austin.
Yeah, we can hear you. Where are you, Austin?
I'm working.
So you gonna be on your phone?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
All right.
Victoria, can you let me in? Let, Mr. Martin
Victoria?
in.
Okay, did you hear Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they won't have that extra. computer.
Right. What time?
Okay. But be muted, okay? So when you do want to hear it, but you're muted for it. No, hold on. Yeah, right there. You're on. Yeah, here you go. You didn't give me any money. Okay. What I'm gonna do with this extra computer is I'm gonna give it to Mr. Smith. So, yeah, because Austin called in, so they're gonna share with one. Or did you wanna share with them? I got one lone computer.
This is y'all said it, you know, this.
Well, no, you're good, but I figured you two could. All right, so. Okay, once Victoria lets you in. I'm doing it now. Yeah, we have it already. Remember what happened last time? We were waiting.
Are we waiting on the mayor? Charles, can you call the mayor, see if he's on his way so we can get started?
The mayor's outside.
All right. Thank you.
Playing with Belinda in the hallway.
I see you, Mr. Anderson. You can't hear me. Hello, Ms. Laster. How are you? Mr. Anderson, how you doing? Can you hear
Doing
me?
good.
Hi, Councilor Smith, you're in the right there. Yeah, be careful.
Yes, ma'am.
I want your fault.
Yes, it is. I can hear you because I'm right next to you. Tracy, double check hers and make sure hers is correct, please. You and Victoria.
Apparently it's on the
Hey.
Armstrong.
How you doing, man? All right. I saw you on the video yesterday, man. You look good.
Contractors protest.
All right.
Contract.
Mayor Brandon King, how are you, sir? I think you're, okay, Tracy.
Wait a minute. I gotta get the one, kid.
Okay, no, where's,
Right
Mayor?
here.
Right there, okay.
And Mr.
Michael.
Chairman, sit on the other side of Charles.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
All right. Council President, how are you?
Okay. Victoria, can you hear us over there? Can you hear us? Okay, she can hear you. You're fine. The name.
Before we start this meeting, I just wanted to welcome everybody back to the East Freedom Public Library. We are open, it opens to June 1st, maybe around 60%, but starting April 1st, we'll be open at 100%, well, 90%. Many of us are asking us when we're going to start our concerts back. So we may plan a concert outdoors in summer. However, indoor programming, September. So again, I'm Carlos Dammer, I'm the director. Welcome back. This is your library. We are in the business of information. So any resources that we can provide to support moving East Cleveland forward, please contact us. So have a great meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Lattimore,
So.
thank you.
Okay.
You're all.
We're going to get started. We have a forum. Before we start, I'd like to ask Pastor Small.
Everybody stand, please. Everybody stand.
And let us bow our heads. Father God, we thank you and praise you for shining upon us again. We ask right now, Lord, that we seek your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding, so that there will be discernment. We pray that we touch the heads of these people right now, so that when they
Council meeting or damn church?
for the people in the city of East Cleveland. Lord, we ask right now, your heart, mind, soul, and spirit. We pray these things in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
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 Special council meeting of Wednesday, March 10th, 2021 at 12 p.m. Location of the East Cleveland City Library. Can you call the meeting to order?
This meeting is called to order at 12:17 p.m. President call the roll.
This sound sucks.
Counselor Stevenson. Present. Counselor Gowdy.
Present.
Counselor Martin.
Present.
Counselor Austin.
Present.
Counselor Smith.
Present.
This meeting is going to be a discussion between the legislative and executive branches of the city regarding the annual budget.
I'd like to open the floor for discussion. Oh, this should both be in front of you, 12/21 and 13/21.
I would like, one of the things that has been an impasse is the, professional line item and contracts. So I'm reaching out, what is the best way for us to proceed? Because the most important thing is that we get this resolved today, so we can have a meeting the next couple of days to pass this budget. So what do you think is the best way we need to proceed, so we can cover all the issues? I'm prepared to be 3 or 4 hours so we can get this done, so people get paid, and I'm on record about making sure that people get paid. Thank you.
We're going to proceed, we're going to open the meeting with discussion. So if you have discussion on the item, this is the time to do that.
Well, I made a suggestion a month ago, since there seemed to be a concern about the professional line item and contracts. So I'm prepared to, once we get to the part of passing the budget, to make an amendment that at the end of every month, we get what's spent professional line items in the 5 departments, and at the end of every month, for the entire year of 2021, what contracts we're in. That way we're current, that way we're on top of it. That's my major concern. Thank you.
Anyone else have any discussion?
Yeah, and my major concern is about all these line items that we've been receiving. We do not have where they're covered, like documentation. And we need documentation behind this, because it's right here, it's just numbers to me. And we need files. And that's what I'm looking for, files, for every documentation, every line item, and invoices, and receipts. That's what I'm looking for.
Councilwoman, that document you look at is prepared by the council president. That document is not prepared by the finance director.
I mean, I have not received what I was receiving as for anyway, so I need files. Everybody has a track record of what they have spent the money on. This is just a bunch of numbers, and I don't know, the invoice or anything.
What you have in front of you is what the chief of staff is saying is what council is recommending. That person has staff and all. So I'd like to make a clarification here that what we're speaking about, was the plans that we have received prior to this document or the 90 January budget document. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, but I also need some attachment of where these items is actually at. Because a lot of people get fired, a lot of people been coming and going, and we know it's been paying for money and everything else. So now we're using all that, we need found paper trail of who's working where, because they never know who's responsible. You let us know who got fired, who got hired, who got laid off, I'm just confused about, just numbers, just numbers.
I think there's some confusion about how the branch of the government operates. If every month the finance director provides a financial report that explains every dime that has been spent for that month, the permanent appropriations tell you what we're spending for the year, and the monthly expense report tells you what has been spent thus far. Managing employees is the responsibility of the executive branch of government. Whether employees work or have been fired or retired or have quit is the responsibility of the administration. There is a personnel and appointments committee. Simply by request, we can give you the list of employees that are current. That list has been requested by many who serve as the chair of that committee. We were provided in that fashion, but to expect that the administration will come and get a confirmation from the legislative branch about termination is something that violates our or your responsibilities, if that's not yours. But most importantly, we're here to talk about the appropriations and the fiscal recovery plan. The problem with this budget and the problem with the fiscal recovery plan is that it has not been created by the executive branch, which is required by law. If council has any legislative requests, they submit them. And the mayor reviews it and the law department creates it and then put a temporary number down and send it back to council. Neither of these pieces of legislation, the ordinance or resolution, has been through that process. Most importantly, resolution number 13-20, which is the fiscal recovery plan. Ohio Revised Code states that the mayor creates the fiscal recovery plan and council confirms it. This preamble demonstrates that the council has changed
I don't need my bodyguard that close.
which
Hi, dear.
constitutes it illegal. We can't have a reasonable discussion about the appropriations or the fiscal recovery plan until we deal with the fact that these two documents have been created illegally. We have submitted from the finance director an appropriation written by a competent finance director. That's his job to do. We have submitted a fiscal recovery plan. In collaboration with the finance director, the mayor submitted, which is by law. We're here to talk about those two documents because these two documents violates the charter, which in turn violates the law. That's where we are.
I'm concerned about the whole matter because the mayor only makes the estimate of what he wants to use for the cities. We want that narrow it down and give him our budget for the city because of the mismanagement of money throughout the years by cars and all that stuff without our permission, without coming before council, spending over $1 million without coming before council. This is why we is in this situation right now. We want to work with you, we want to get to the bottom of it, and we ask to have documentations of where every penny go, and it's not in this. I'm just confused about this line item, it's not there. And every time we ask the mayor, he tell us to meet with him, but he never do that. So we still have a problem with that. I came up a couple of times to try to meet with the mayor. He was not there. So this is where I'm at.
So again, we spend millions every year without coming to council because that's the prerogative of the executive branch. We buy vehicles. Once you pass the permanent appropriations and then the line item that allows us to make capital improvements to buy vehicles, that's what we do. I think there's a misunderstanding of the responsibilities of both branches of government that is impeding our ability to provide citizens the necessary services that any city will provide through their appropriations. Moreover, if we don't resolve this issue, I'm sure the judicial branch will be suing either likely the legislative branch because you're shutting him down by the end of the month. And if the courts can't provide justice, you are essentially denying anyone who comes to the court their constitutional rights.
We're here to resolve that. That's why we're here. We didn't go down that.
So then,
Let's get to what we need to do.
We
That's
need,
why we're here.
that we need to look at the appropriations that are legally, that we could legally consider. We can't legally consider these two documents because they were created illegally.
So
Let me jump in. Let me jump in, if you don't mind, Councilman. Let me jump in. I'd like to thank you.
Hold on. I'd like to go back to what Mrs. Kennedy stated. And I would like to have the clerks read into the record what the appropriation ordinance section 61 states. So that we're all clear as to what is expected at this time.
Do you have that? I'm pulling it up right now for you. Hold on 1 second.
And speak up, please, so everybody can hear you.
I have that. No, we'll get it in a second right here. I don't want to mess with, are you sure? I don't want to mess with this zone. Okay, this is what short you. 61.
Section 61 appropriation ordinance. Upon receipt of such estimate, the council shall at once prepare an appropriation ordinance in such manners as may be provided by ordinance or resolution, using the mayor's estimate as a basis. Provision shall be made for public hearings upon the appropriation ordinance before a committee of the whole, and public notice shall be given of such hearing. The council shall not pass the appropriation ordinance until 10 days after such public hearing, nor before the first Monday in January.
Mayor King, you're recognized.
I was going somewhere else. You wanted to respond? I did need to respond to that. That simply says when we submit the mayor's estimate and the permanent appropriation, or any appropriation, that you create legislation to put it into law. That's what that means. That doesn't mean that council rewrites or write their own appropriation. That's not what that means. That means
You're
you
damn
take
fool.
what we've given you and it's reduced to legislation where you pass it into law. That's what that passage.
Also, whatever we provided by the administration, we tweak it. There's certain things you want to take out, you have that option to do that, don't we?
You do.
Yes.
That's not this.
Okay.
That's not this legislation. This is a document solely created by council.
Okay. We can create our own. Yes, we can, and we can make laws too.
If you're referring to that section of the charter, that does not, that is in conflict with the council president's statement. I believe that there's just a lack of understanding of what the responsibilities are and the lack of the ability to interpret the documents that we send. If you want to know how much money there is, the permanent appropriations tell you that. If you want to know how much money we spend month by month, the monthly reports tell you that. If you have difficulty understanding it, we have never shut our doors to you. The finance director has never shut his doors to give you explanation on how to interpret the monthly report. But again, we're back to the fact that these two documents were created illegally. Resolution number 23-21 is a violation of Ohio Revised Code. We have submitted a fiscal recovery plan that is legal. We can talk about that. We have a finance director who has the permanent appropriation that he submitted. We can talk about that, but we can't talk about these because they've been created illegally.
Well, those documents are illegal, then the council has been operating illegally for its entire duration, because this is not the first council that has created an estimated.
Can I make a comment?
Of that type.
Right.
I don't know of any, not since my tenure. Not since my tenure. I've been here longer than the voting. I've been here for 10 years.
Even if you've been here for 10 or 5, you can learn something.
Historically, we very seldom pass the budget. We do it 90 days. We've done that for years before we became council.
Can I make a comment?
Okay, so there's nothing new about that.
Yeah.
And by the end of, we have to the end of March 31st, the to pass the permanent appropriation. Now, here's the concern.
Can I make a
We've
comment?
been dealing with this budget now since November of last year. When
Can I make a
mayor
comment?
Submitted the mayor's estimate. We were back and forth, that type of thing. Now, we got up to what today is the 9th, about 20 days to get this done. Okay, we have to get it done according to the chart. So let's move where we can,
Can I make a
where
comment?
we have an impasse, let's get past that now. That's what we need to do.
Can I make a
Let's
comment?
get it done. It ain't about pointing finger here, pointing there. We're here to make progress. A lot of them, we're here. Thank you, is here. Let's make progress.
Can I make a
I'm
comment?
still saying that what I kept hearing the last 2 or 3 months is people have concerns about where's money going to professional line item, where's the contract? Well, I said, I thought about it, talking to some professionals about it. They said, well, just have an amendment so each month we get, what's being spent in the 5 departments in the city out of professional line items, so we know how it's being spent in contracts. Now, I haven't seen the contracts. I think the contract was submitted to one of the council persons, but what I saw, and this is being objective, not to point the finger at anyone, how much is in the contract, when it ends, et cetera, that kind of thing. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Thanks.
So if you're done, thank you.
Hello?
So,
Yeah.
Can I make a
Council,
comment?
I'd like to thank you for having this meeting, right?
Thank you.
Over the last couple of months, we've talked about rules, policy, procedure, following the laws, ordinances that we were all sworn to. This is an illegal meeting, but I still have to be here. I need to be here because I want to work with you. So despite you not following the sunshine law, I'm here for the employees and for the residents of the city, right? There's a communication and an understanding issue, as the chief of staff alluded to. Since I've been an elected official, right? An elected official, I can't go back to the dinosaur age. And I'm not trying to make a joke, but I can't go back that far. Since I've been an elected official, we have always passed a permanent appropriation before the end of the year, per the request of being in fiscal emergency. There's never been a temporary appropriation. There's never been that. Since I've been an elected official, I'm just talking about since I've been an elected official, it has never happened. We give you, per the rules, per the charter, right, in November, by November 15th, we give you the mayor's estimate, right, to review. That becomes, for all intents and purposes, the permanent appropriation, right? Now, I have here, and I'd like to pass out the documents that we continually sent you. Permanent appropriations, the fiscal recovery plan. I'd like you all to keep in mind, especially you, Council President, you were at the last fiscal commission meeting. We cannot get out of the 85% expenditure reduction until the fiscal recovery plan is passed. The cash of the fiscal recovery plan, it has to match the permanent appropriation. And I'm sure you can understand why it has to match the permanent appropriation. Now, you guys want to get into contracts and where money is going. We have no problem. This is a government. We're giving you every document that you've asked for specifically, right? You can't ask for 20 years worth of contracts. Any document that you asked for specifically, you have gotten, and you said that you would move this forward. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Can you pass this around? I'm getting emotional because since I've been the mayor, we worked damn hard to change the finances of the city, right? So that we could use the resources that we now generated for the benefit and betterment of the community and the employees, right? Every department has seen raises, every employee has seen raises, right? Everybody has seen raises. Everybody has gotten new equipment. We bought in new personnel, right? I've increased the quality of life, right? We stand here getting ready to put me in a position where I can't pay the employee. He's gonna sue you and me. He's gonna sue you for not passing the legislation. He's gonna sue me for not writing the check. I'm sorry, but I get a little emotional about it because we work too hard.
Council, want everybody to understand, this council.
What did you say?
The budget that they're calling illegal is representative of enough money to pay the staff. And it is like that because I asked for justification to the budget. And I have not received justification. There are places in the budget where there are $800,000.
Hello.
With no explanation of what that money.
Hello.
is spent on, who's going to spend it, and how it's going to be expended. There's a whole department in our budget called Central Services. But if you attempt to call that department, there's no phone number for it. There are no people that work there. So there are things in this budget that are erroneous when it comes to a government operation. We just passed a contract. The contract issue is, and it has to do with somewhat of the contract. We just gave the Capitol County Health Department a contract for more money than we owe them. This is government. It doesn't happen like that. And when I objected to it, you all voted it in anyway, and I had to write my displeasure with approving it before, so that we would have a health department situation, because the health department refused to reduce the contract to match the amount of money that it should have been for. So those are the kinds of things that are going on that are erroneous in this budget. I can't speak to any other budget. I am familiar with in the past that there were situations where a 90-day budget was given and passed by the council. And so this council has that opportunity. There are things that are required that if this council needs more information, we have to ask for it. We ask for it, we have gotten it.
Charles, can you explain?
Also-
Central Services is?
Hold on one second.
There's an accusation on the table. If it's a discussion, why do I need to be recognized?
Employee.
If it's not a discussion,
Employee.
it's not a discussion.
It's not the mayor.
I don't have to be. You don't tell the mayor who.
Madam President,
Hello.
let's cut that out. Where I want to go with this at this point, if we can, where is the impasse? We got the finance director here. Let's get to the part so we can discuss it. So we
Tell them what Central Services is.
Where is it? What's stopping us from getting it done?
Central Services.
I would like to add one other thing,
Yeah.
and that is that the mayor is stating that that there was no budget, no temporary budget passed, since he's been here. Thomas Wheeler passed a temporary. budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't want to go there because she
Yeah, I
doesn't
know.
know the history, but we.
And please understand, ladies and gentlemen, I don't just do things. The research is done. The research is done. We are not just here because of this budget. We've been asking for documents for months that back up the things that they bring for us to pass. Right now, we're at an impasse because they refuse to give us an application, which is a part of the legislation that they're requesting that we pass. We cannot pass the legislation if we don't have the information. And that's the problem. There's a problem with the information flow from the administration to the council. We need the information so that we can make informed decisions, and without it, we don't have that ability.
So Councilman Smith and Councilman Austin.
So you just talking to them, Mr. Fleming, just talking to them?
No, that's not.
Okay, come on.
There's a statement that we haven't given information, and there's two councilors who beg to differ. We've submitted 130 pages of documents that were requested by this council to a judge because we were sued to that fact. All the information that was requested, this finance director and the mayor put it together and sent it. But the two issues that I understand to be on the table is central services
Okay.
and money in line items that you don't
So
understand.
let's get to Central
Central
Services.
Services,
All right.
finance director, can you explain that it's not a department?
Please,
I can.
Yeah.
please.
Hello.
And let's get this Central Services taken care of when we go to the next item so we can make some progress. All right.
And the reason I bring up central services is because that is where there's like $2 or $3 million placed, and that money is used for contracts, and the council may receive those contracts until after sometime they're met.
Can you explain them? Central Services? What is not?
Central Services, and I will help Counselor Martin, this service been here for years. Yeah. When I say years, years now. We start to say, before we make accusations, in my way, you need to actually ask questions about what things are before you make assumptions of what they are. We're here, we made a lot of assumptions at this point. Central Services is only not a department where people work. Central Services where we provide services that is not attributed to one particular department. We have engineering services.
We gotta do.
That's not attributed to the finance department, that's not attributed to the mayor's department, that's not attributed to the police department.
Bids.
It is a service that helps every department and everybody in the city.
Yes.
Central Services is only
Okay, I'll call you,
department
first, but I'm sure.
that's where people work, it's only where it's activity, it's initiatives that help the entire city and all the departments. And you just don't assign that to one particular department. But I need to, let me just say this too, because there's a lot of things that's talked about. Councilor Martin, if I'm understanding what you're saying, we're talking about professional service, I need to get back to that. Because you mentioned that if there was some reporting done on the back end to know what things are, we can move forward. Can you, I didn't even confirm it, are you saying that you would like to some kind of amendment? What I would like to make an amendment, based on what I've been hearing the last 4 months, is that in the 5 departments in the city of East Cleveland, in the professional line, and some people only use that much, that at the end of each month, you get a specific report of what's being spent and contracts. Okay, and I don't think that's a difficult thing to do. Now, when I discussed this a few months ago, there was consensus, it was okay, but we never went past that. Because I'm hearing that one of our council persons got a contract, but it didn't have beginning date, ending date, how much the contract was worth, that type of thing. I haven't seen it, but we can correct that. So let's say we pass this budget in the next couple of weeks. So at the end of, let me throw this at the end to show you where I'm going. At the end of March, we get a specific thing specifically on what's spent in the 5 departments, and it's very simple. Professional line item, and then if we get into a contract with anybody, at the end of each month, we know what the contract is. That's the way we're current. Okay? And then if I have a question, or Ernest has a question, or Kareem, or Valley, we can come to you. Okay? Because that was one of the major impasses that I saw was on one side they said we didn't get the contract. Other side was the contract is incomplete. We get past that, period. Okay, that is one of the major stumbling blocks. Okay, all right. So I understand everything you just said. Okay, and it sounds like you're saying that you're willing to pass the appropriations that the administration has presented, and that the administration will provide you with the 5 departments at the end of the month. The professional service activity and contract. Right, that's where I'm at. Okay, and I don't speak for this council person. Okay, I am not going down the road with people that are getting paid. That's why all the things you went in here was the attitude. Okay, so whatever is stopping us from getting here, that's why we're here. Now, I got something for saying that technically we were supposed to be here, and we have to have a meeting over there. Well, we didn't have a meeting there because of the pandemic. This is the perfect stage. So we've got to make progress. After this, I want to walk out of here tonight. We decided to have a meeting Friday to pass this budget. Because I'm not going, I've been here too long, and I've been down that road. You want to go down that road when nobody's getting paid. So that's where I'm at. So I understand. Okay. I'm with you. All right. So the appropriations, I just want to make this clear. Okay, I'm listening. The appropriations that the administration has provided counsel. The compromise is the administration will provide you counsel, and you see on for yourself, you're willing to accept those appropriations, but you're wanting the administration to provide out of the fire department at the end of the month.
What professional line item in contract, and I want the contract to be complete.
Okay.
How much is in the contract, the end of the contract, that type of thing. That way I can speak with intelligence. That's why I'm at. I can't speak with the other four, but I had an argument with some of the council people before here about this, and I said, I'm not going down this road where people ain't getting paid. We don't need, we got enough negative stuff going on as it is. So if you do that, I'm ready to go. So you talk to someone.
Charles, that's great. Good, that's a good personal. Now, let's go to the rest of the councilors to see if we can get them on the same, sorry.
Hello, can I have a moment to speak, please? May I have a moment to speak, please? Hello?
I guess what I need to say is, Mo, that I've done quite a bit of research. And in my research,
Hello?
I found is that the council has been given a report January to October 2020 that detailed everything that Mr. Martin is speaking of. But for some reason, when we got a new president and a new clerk, those reports stopped coming. Now, the council didn't know they were getting those reports, because those reports were being sent to the former clerk, and the former clerk did not share those documents with the council. So for more than 1 year, the council did not get those reports. So what Mr. Martin is actually stating is something that was being done before I became president, and suddenly stopped in October of 2020. That report detailed how much money was spent, on what the money was spent, how much the employees were paid, how much the vendors, all of those vendors were paid, and all of that detail. They're big documents, and the document is quite a large document. I'm going to bring it with me today. But for some reason, that document stopped. Now, as far as the contracts go, the council did not know about contracts after the contracts were met. Within reason, the contracts must come before the council, and they must be approved by the council.
Yeah, also, you are correct, because I'm going to say that.
Hello?
We was asking Charles, the financial director, we was asking him about what was others. We got interrupted by the mayor, told you not to say anything to us about the line items that we was asking. He was like, don't say nothing, Charles, and it's like, if we pass this budget, is y'all gonna really work with us, because y'all get the budget, you get what you want, and then you do what you want, and you forget about what we tell you to do. You don't follow no kind of guidelines or whatever. I don't mind passing the budget, but the other stuff that what you have as others, I don't know what other is. Is it in other people's pocket, or is it in other people down the street? Who's the other people contracts? Who is other? And when we mentioned that to you, you didn't have no idea of where the money was at. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Charles. Yeah, I'm eye to eye.
So all it is the detail budget that the council put together. All it is collapsing everything except for salaries and fringe benefits. It's only, when I say collapsing, is instead of having all of those line items, that is the budget, and the way it's set like that, that is not common practice in best practice. I've provided counsel in the past with other municipalities. We have to, I think sometimes we, as East Cleveland, as we love our city and we want to be unique, we have to also understand that we don't want to do things that's not best practice. So many cities do this all the time, or work together with council administration. There's no need to do something different that's not the norm. And so that particular, the way that form is set is not the norm.
norms and setting, it could be even less detailed than what I even present by law. So that's all of it is. It's just collapsing all of those line items that you can see on that budget. It's just collapsing. Just same numbers. The total is going to be the same. Just collapse. If that makes sense,
Not really. I mean, it don't make sense because the reason why I say it don't make sense because it be line items in that money bracket. And we don't know where that line item went to, if it don't even show. And then when we ask you, where is the money at? You say it's an other, and this is what you explained, and I don't understand that.
that's what you know, counselor. I am as the chief said alluded to, my door is always open. You're right there. I have a white door. I have no problem of breaking it down.
No, I just want it on paper, where is this other went to on paper? You put others and just point to where it went to, so we can look down and say, oh, that's where you put other at. You don't have all these documents that we are asking for, and then when we do ask you for documentation, the mayor tell you to shut up. In a lot of ways, he's telling you to close your mouth. So this is where I'm having a problem at, and with the grass cutting, I was just asking you, do you have pictures and stuff? When they started, when the contract started, I mean, I can work.
Bitch right here. This Gowdy bitch.
No, not the pictures or no documentation.
Oh, right.
That's who's talking. Who's all angry.
Yeah.
And I know other contractors, these are three people on one contract. I'm like, where's the separate of the money? Where's the money going? I never got the documentation, even Noah even cutting grass. We didn't even know that he was even hired. A lot of people that's been hired, we don't even know how much. I see the contract, but we didn't see how much money was behind.
Hey, this Councilman Austin, can I have a comment?
Contract, if I may interject here, and according to section 60 of the charter, section 69 states that such a bill created and required by the council or the mayor may be liable to submit. So the council has a right to request additional information, whether or not the best practice is something outside of what we do here. What we're asking for is detailed documentation and justification of the budget request for $24 million.
Respond to that. The monthly financial report is annual and what I would like to say to navigating something, for me, is I feel like I do triple and double work because when information is given, there's no confirmation on the council end to say, I got it and thank you. So if I give you something and you do not confirm that you got it and you ask for it tomorrow, and I gave it to you already. And we do this over and over again. I ask you, what is the person supposed to do? And how is it when you say you didn't get something, then it was given? And we have records showing that it was given.
I never received it. Show me the records.
And well, again, I can't, when, so this was doing communication repeating it. I can't, it's hard for me to, I don't know what's going on your end when you say you didn't get something. I don't know what's going on. I know there's been, we had issues with technology. And even though it's different topic, we've been through accusations about things of the administration having, doing something with your technology where you're not accessing something. And then again, on the back end, when it's found out that it was a user error, which it happens. We tend to sometimes think something is there, is not, and then we find out it's there. And again, from my standpoint, from this last 9 months, there's no recognition that, okay, my bad. I missed that. It's accusation, accusation, and we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And yet we,
Which way
all the departments,
Up to the floor.
and yet
90 and Grand
We
Honey.
don't get
That's where you
the
want to go?
courtesy that we did.
If we can
Our
go across
job, we
Warrensville.
helped out. We just
You
think that we didn't get some.
easy?
I was just
We
asking.
didn't
I mean,
get
it's
some. We
fine.
didn't get
I was just
that.
asking.
Again, we have this on work because, yes, there's a whole other issue going on, but what's not being received. And so we work to establish all the information that was given. I can't control if you didn't click on it. I've seen people emails, not yours, I've seen people in administration. They have thousands of emails that's unread. So if you just don't read your email, like you got some mail, your mail put in your mail,
This is
you
it,
just don't open your mail, you can't say what you did.
Bitch.
I thought they didn't like Section 8
Let
and
me ask something.
like,
Rick.
thought that they didn't like
Oh, yeah.
people like investors.
They don't, but they still, it's just
Oh.
hard.
For that reason.
Can we,
Make a comment.
is he there? Is he there?
Is you there?
That's the mayor.
Nah, that's not Brandon.
Oh,
Kangaroo Council.
Counselor
Yeah.
Austin?
very much. That's my job. I'm on my way there right now. I heard,
Okay,
Okay, I just wanted to go back to what you were saying about the contract. And it makes a lot of sense when I see the administration. Soon as the contract comes in, that our president and the clerk get the contract, so we can deal with it immediately. I think that's not a difficult thing to do. I think we should, can we agree on that? Can we, I'm asking the administration. When you enter into a contract, because one thing that's been confusing is where I'm under the perception that if the contract is under $2,500, you don't have to come through us. But it's also this concept of $49,000 to the state, $50,000 to the state. But our municipal laws say $2,500. So can you elaborate on that? Thank you. Okay.
Number 72, contracts. And so, as you alluded to, says, when any expenditure with any department other than compensation of person employee, there within exceeds $2,500, or, now, or the amount stipulated by state law, whichever amount is greater. I can't help the interpretation of what that means. I interpret that as being to be whatever is greater. If you don't think war means that.
Brother Charles, we're feeling you. The best way to get so that we make progress here is anything over 2,500 is the contract to our clerk or our president. Period, and we don't have to worry about dealing with that. Okay, it's a contract. We need to know the contract. Right. You know, and this is the problem with this interpretation.
Are you gonna talk on here?
Is it 2,500 or is it 50,000?
we're not misunderstanding. We're not understanding. It's an effort by the council to control what the administration does in support of the city. And that does not make sense, period.
But when I'm saying to make progress, and this is, reaching out to the administration, any contract over 2,500, make sure that we get it. Anything over 2,500, not 50,000. Is that difficult to do?
Donate.
Thank you.
Office supply can be over.
Immediately, not. So that's where now we're making progress. So, regular doing that, those are the major issues, because the contract and the personal thing, etc. I will come to you if I don't understand it. Okay? I will. I go up to the mayor all the time, and he explains things to me. Even all these years, you can never comprehend all of this stuff. You do the best you can.
But to make progress, let's do that. Then we can go on and get this budget passed.
Point of clarification.
Right.
Are we talking about?
8 years you get to be adopted.
Or they're executed or contracts are after
Yeah.
they're executed?
Well, that's her concern. What are we talking about?
We will send every contract.
Okay.
There's some contracts that require your action, there's some contracts that do not.
But you're gonna send them all to
We'll
us?
send them all.
Okay. Okay, now we're making some progress.
Before or after execution?
How do you want it?
Before.
That's fine,
Okay, that's on record.
that's fine.
All right, so I'm feeling everybody, and I'm thinking for the, now we're making progress, because this ain't really that difficult, okay? We got to get this done now. This thing that you said, Madam President, about, I think you said it, 10 days. Now, do we still have to have a hearing in front of the public before we pass this, or have we got beyond that?
Done that in November.
Okay, so I'm prepared to pass,
No, we still have, if we.
what is it?
If we, according to the charter, if we decide to pass the 10-day period that we had was on a 90-day temporary budget. In order for us to pass a full budget, then we would need to have another 10-day public hearings period, according to the charter.
If I may, so according to the charter, the finance director, the mayor submitted the permanent appropriation.
Okay.
Did that, and the 10 days has gone. The 90-day thing was strictly council's prerogative. That was not from the mayor. Now, going by the charter,
All right.
charter says the finance department works on the permanent appropriation. We did that, the 10 days has gone. If you are sincere, if you are ready, you can introduce it from the floor right now, pass it as an emergency. If you are sincere.
This is a special meeting. I can't do it at this meeting because the only thing was on the agenda. But we can have a meeting any day after this, after we're all in agreement.
Let's modify the agenda and keep it moving.
Live charter. It needs to be posted, the public.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda as presented.
300 copies to be made in case the residents want to call those copies.
Everything you need to hold on to that narrative.
We need to follow the charter.
Okay, Madam
Now you want to
President,
follow the charter, but you just
follow the charter.
re-modify this guy's budget.
Today is
The city.
10 days from now, it'll be the 20th. Can we get that done so we can get the thing passed before the end of the month?
Are we going to get an explanation of professional services?
Well, they
Had it 10
said
times
they
already.
provide that to us monthly, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Council President. Not only did Councilman Martin request from the mayor 2 years worth of professional service, but he.
Yeah.
And I believe you had that as well, Council President. And I also-
Everybody, I put it in everybody's box and thank the mayor, he made all, this is about working together, and I put it in everybody's box. I just want to go back 2 years. But starting with 2021, once we pass this, we will get the professional line item and contracts beforehand, right, and that's the impasse here. So, if we go by the charter, according to our president, okay, we do the 10-day thing, so we be ready after 10 days to pass this budget. So then we'll have time to go back to you or the mayor if we have any other questions. Yes.
You still are avoiding my question.
What?
Where is my justification?
So I also, I wanted.
Wait a minute, what are you saying?
Justification for $224 million budget, where is it at? The appropriations are numbers. What you all give us are numbers. And I am not going to subject my brain to trying to figure out what those numbers go to.
You chose the wrong profession.
That's
Don't want to think.
Cassidy's not there.
The council has the right to ask for additional information. That is additional information that I've been asking for 3 months, and I still don't have it. And this time, Steve Wonder could have made.
Okay, what are the specifics, Madam President, what are the specifics you asked for, you're not getting? I'm asking you, what are the specifics?
Professional services. He's got $800,000 in professional services to be spent on one. Charles has stated something about a collapse situation. I'm not familiar.
Can I please
If it's collapse,
answer for the
all of
20th time?
things that you're going to spend money on for contract should be listed for the council purpose and collapse for the
I think
county,
someone would like to speak.
which is different from what we're getting.
And, Council President, after the marriage estimate does show the details, the only reason you're able to even create that document is because I gave you the details line by line. What goes to the county will need to be passed by council, which is the collapse. That document there, if it's passed, that is going to the county.
Where's the narrative? Where's the narrative?
So again,
Somebody write and tell me what you're gonna use $800,000 for. In a narrative form. You can't tell me numbers with no justification.
so Council President, you know, recall that I sent you a document that details what professional services are in each department. I listed all the general
That's for each
rights.
department, Charles. That's not what I asked for, not the problem. I don't think what I asked for.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you sent me a blanket document, that blanket document still does not represent those department expenditures.
So when I say EMS building,
The question was
it's professional
the
services.
issue where most of that money looks like it's being spent is in the police department. And then we have contractors that are cutting grass, that are doing things in city hall. All of these different, yeah, because I see it happening, that's how I know what it is. But I shouldn't have to see it happening to know what you spending $559,000 on. I should have had the knowledge of that prior to the expenditure.
The details show the name of the vendor and the activity.
So we supposed to call the vendor, to ask them what's buying.
Come on.
I mean, full details.
If I may, so unfortunately, you missed Monday's meeting, right? Monday's meeting, we wanted to, and we went over, and the finance director did a good job of it, what the 85% means. The cut to our expenditures per being in fiscal emergency. I'm sorry you missed the meeting. There are 3 branches of government, 85% takes us to a place where the judicial branch is pretty much over for the month. He's not gonna make payroll for 10 days. The council's office is not gonna make payroll for 10 days. We have followed the charter. It has been posted, the 10 days have gone. I gave you past the permanent appropriation, past the fiscal recovery plan. We followed the charter, right? We gave you the permanent appropriation. The 10 days has passed. The law director is here, she can confirm that. We need to get this passed. Charles has the documents to show you what the 85% reduction looks like. And what the different departments have spent for the line items. Right?
No.
Okay.
85% on. Hold on. We have in the room today, we have Pastor Smalls, we have the judge, Judge Dawson, and we have Attorney Jonathan McDonald. I would like to hear from that panel, please.
Do you want to start with?
The elected official was one,
He's running
hear
it.
from them. They are here.
That's not on the agenda. It didn't say
These people are here for a reason. So we need to hear from them.
It's not on the agenda.
Well,
They are here.
it's all right.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's an open meeting.
Let's use some common sense. Brandon, let's hear from them.
It's an open meeting.
Okay, we got Judge here, we got Pastor Small, let's hear from them. Do you don't want to hear from Pastor Small?
Thank you. I want to hear from the elected official who runs the branch of the government.
Well, Corbin, let's start with Judge Dawson.
Mr. Mr. Martin, hold on a minute.
I'm supposed to make a motion to,
It's another city and take them over.
We addressed it.
Do we have?
Mr. Martin, we addressed it.
So they can speak.
He's running the meeting, not me, Michael.
I'm making a motion. A motion
There's
is
a
on the
motion
floor.
on the floor.
To read.
There's a motion on the floor
Right.
to suspend.
Suspend
order
rule
of
nine.
business. Do we have?
That's rule 9, correct?
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? Mayor King?
I can only surmise that you're suspending the rules to allow.
Hey, what's the motion on the floor?
I would ask that only the elected officials talk. Only the elected official, because only what he has to say matter and what we're doing here. Right? All respect
But
to
then
the other
for him to agree or
individuals.
disagree, we're making a motion is on the floor and we're gonna,
We're
vote.
discussing, so I'm
Yes.
discussing it. I would like to hear only from the elected officials.
Any other discussion?
Yes. Hello?
If there's no further discussion, can we call for the vote, clerk?
Just one moment. I keep trying to get Counselor. Oh, just call the roll.
Can we call the roll?
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Order.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Say yeah.
Counselor Austin,
Can you restate the motion on the floor, please? I'm pulling up, I'm about to run in there.
Can you hear me,
Hello?
Counselor Austin?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Can you restate the motion on the floor, please?
To suspend Rule 9. The motion is to suspend Rule 9.
Yes, yay.
Okay, unanimous.
Motion to suspend Rule 9 is passed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Stand up now so we can make sure you hear you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Just really quickly, first of all, it seems like we're really close.
Right.
When I first, woke up this morning, I thought it seems like we're really close. I will say, as far as finance, real economic, finance, oftentimes.
Hey, can somebody come? There you go.
I'm often confused with the numbers, or things like that. Charles has always been wonderful with being patient with you. I think Charles is hard to say Charles there too. So I think we're at the cusp where we can really get along, we can really compromise, we can get these things planned. I don't fault you all for one explanation, but I think it's just a matter of us talking and I truly believe, you can call me, you can call me, oh, yes, I don't believe on any part. If there's any religious intent, I don't believe it's any kind of change. I think just working together. Now, real quick, it's important to me because I have the constitutional duty to provide access to. And I will say, this, for those who've been around for a long time, I've been a team player for these people for a long time, even when I volunteered as a public defender. Especially as a judge, I've continued to decrease my budget and my employees, just to make sure that we were compromising and working with the city and I do good. So now we're at the bare minimum, we're trying to get some additional hires, that was only about we're at the bare minimum, and it's at a point now where we can't even afford to keep our employees at the bare minimum. So that's my major concern, having to stay off employees and having to reduce the service of the city and the residents. That's a major concern. So I hope that we can come to an agreement so that we don't get to that. And then, as the administration mentioned,
through all of my years, people have always been in my ear. I don't want to crowd people against my city, my elected officials, the people that I love. But they have to look at that. There's certain requirements that we have in the Constitution. I have to
I have no idea. I really
I'm
don't.
happy that we're moving, let's go and make it happen.
Thank you. I want to say before you, yeah, okay, well, Mr. Austin just came in. What, I want to give him the space. Huh? Yeah. Oh, okay. He needs, I'm giving his computer to him so I can move over to Downey. That's all I'm saying, okay? He can come over here and I'll move next to Downey. So we work
Like one of
together.
the things you need to be there in person. You gotta be there in person to have your voice heard.
Right.
I know you ain't probably had time for sure.
But they're not allowing you to go there.
That's what I'm saying. There's too much going on there. They can't hear y'all.
No.
Too much going on.
Administration already conceded the ask from council. That was the contract. As far as the line items, they just want to bring documents, contracts to support the services if they are available to present to the board. That's it. So basically, you said that we will. They're asking for a contract, additional documents that will expand upon what those line items are. Professional services, and I believe the system services, because I think you outsource some of those system services. Is that correct?
Right.
Right, so if there are contracts that exist currently, or will soon to be executed, just present those to council, that way everybody's on the same page. I think both parties want the same thing, and that's for the betterment of the community at large. So,
Thank you.
Right.
Tried to get you, but we lost.
Yeah, I wasn't lost. I heard everything y'all was saying. I guess somebody didn't want to acknowledge me, but it's okay. I left my job. It's okay. I ain't asking for, I got it. Let me talk. Thank you for acknowledging. What I wanted to do was ask a couple of simple questions about what the professional services line items consist of. The big block, and not in any great detail, just the definition of that line number and why it was put in place. And Mr. Law Director, correction, Mr. Finance Director, if you'd be so kind as to provide just the basic construct for why that line item exists.
Professional services exists when there's services and activities that employees can do themselves.
We don't get
And as a department, would need outside the vendor to provide that professional service. That could be non-two things, it could be to processing data, to fixing windows, it doesn't matter. Whatever that department can do themselves, whether they don't have the people or they don't have the skill set.
Okay.
We use professional services.
Can I see if I understand what you were communicating? For professional services, those services were anything the city does not have the capacity to perform, whether it's cutting down trees, fixing a light pole. That's the reason why that line is critical to the overall sustainment of the city. And are there any employees that get paid out of that line number? Okay, so those employees that get paid out of that line, which was taken down to zero, not by the council, but somebody at home, those employees were in jeopardy immediately with the submission of the document that was generated in somebody's kitchen or wherever they generated the document. It wasn't a council generated document. It wasn't a council discussion that was had. It was something that was had in a stovepipe with the intent on taking the city back to, as somebody said, the Stone Age. And that's not what the council, me, wants to present to you today. There was another, I heard something about executive services. Is that the other gesture that I heard that was of concern?
What?
I know professional services.
Professional, serve the line items and contracts.
Central
Central
services. So what if anything does the central services provide to the city?
All the departments of benefits in the city in its entirety. We don't charge Mexican to serve. We could, but we don't, because it's a centralized operation. And operates the whole city engineering service. That helps out a multitude of departments and the city in itself. So central services is anything that's necessary attributed to a particular department, but again, it is needed to continue to operate the city, but it is not something that is attributed to a certain department.
Let me understand. So you said central services is basically respectively the water. So every department can't be necessarily charged for the water if they all live in the same building, which we all live in the same city. So, okay, I understand, and that's almost something we don't have to think about.
And I like to add to again, my counselors, if you don't believe what I'm saying, and you're hesitant, you think I might not be telling, please, I implore you. If you don't already have contacts with any other municipality, any other legislator, please build those contacts, ask these questions. And I'm 99% positive they will explain to you that what is going on here in cities Cleveland and its finances, the way it's constructed, is not so different from any other cities that are not in fiscal emergency. Cities that are flourishing and doing well. We want to be just like our neighboring cities. So we're not doing anything outside of the ordinary that's going on. But again, please don't take my word for it. Reach out to other counselors.
I have a question, Madam President. I'm hearing, and we need to get this clear, all these people in this room, that people may not get paid, taking into consideration what Charles said about the 85%. Where are we if we're gonna take the 10 days, do the 300, do what the charter tells us to do with the public before we get ready to vote on the permanent appropriation? Are we in some jeopardy that people not getting paid in the next couple of weeks? That's my question to you or to me. Okay. All right.
You in that question, I don't actually write the checks.
Okay, but Charles.
So again, this is one of those things of I sent some information and whether, and
just tell us what it is, Charles. All right. I see you making your editorial, but tell us what it is. All right. Okay.
I've already used this.
All right.
That the fiscal supervisor, right, you're in fiscal emergency. You gotta also remember that too, please. As we're talking, we're in fiscal emergency. We have another oversight. Since we didn't provide a fiscal recovery plan, in time, 85%. So the fiscal supervisor provided for all of the funds, what we can spend in the month of March, what we can spend in each of those funds. Right? And I forwarded it to everybody to see. So with that being said, what we spent in March of 2020, we only can spend 85% of that in March of 2021. There's new operations, i.e. new employees who are in different departments, i.e. the city council that wasn't in city council in 2020, March. So you have new expenditures this year that you didn't have last year.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's where you have expenditures now, but you only spend 85%, that's the shortfall. That makes sense.
Yeah, okay, now we got 10 days according to what the president said and Mayor the charter saying it's so the public can have some say so. But today is the 10th, the 20th. If we pass this permanent appropriation in the next, let's say 15 days, will everybody get paid? That's my question to you.
We have to, if we pass the appropriation, then you have to pass the fiscal recovery.
Well, I think that comes along with it. Okay, I have a problem with the fiscal recovery
And
plan.
then you have to schedule a meeting with the fiscal commission to advise them, to make them aware that the city council has passed the permanent appropriations and fiscal recovery plan, so they can set up a meeting, so they can review it, and they can, whether they approve it or not, but we at least met the obligation of city council having a fiscal, passing fiscal recovery plan. We meet that obligation, we're out of that 85% threshold.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Once this legislation passed, it has to go back to the fiscal commission.
That's what he said. He said that.
Right. So by the time you pass it, and they schedule a meeting, right? I remember 6 people, 7 people on the commission.
Mhm.
Right? By the time they schedule that meeting, we will have elapsed more than 10 days. We'll be looking at maybe 14 days, 15 days.
March 19th.
So the document that Councilman Smith has, it shows you the percent of where the different branches of government are in their alignment vis-a-vis March of last year, right? And when I'm looking at that document, I want to say that you're not going to get this through the next payroll, not fully. And
when is the next payroll?
March 19th.
March 9th. So we can move some things around to make sure we make the payroll, because we got by, according to the mayor, by the charter or the president, we have to have this thing go before the public. That's 10 days. That's the 20th. So let's say we'll pass it by the 25th. So let's move stuff around to make sure we got money to pay everybody. Then we pass this thing by the 25th and we're through with it. Yes, Mayor.
Wait. Again, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Passing it doesn't allow us to, we have the money.
Right.
We can't spend it. Right? It's gotta be passed, it's gonna go back to the fiscal commission.
Right.
They got to look at 85% expenditure.
Oh, so if we can target this thing, if we're looking at 10 days from now, that's the 20th. Okay.
We're past 10 days.
I'm not taking a position on this. According to the charter, the public has to have a right to say something about it. In 10 days and 300 copies. That's in the charter. You guys always talking about the charter. Okay? So, let's say we pass it by the 25th. You can set up with Mr. Patel or whatever her name is and set something up, and then we can be through with this thing. Okay?
Right.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right.
They need to be contacted now to see how that date falls into this alignment.
Right, and you in contact with, and the president is on that commission, and we're working this out, and they just see if they can schedule the meeting on Zoom. They meet on Zoom anyway, and we can get this thing taken care of. Okay?
Okay.
I just have a question. So, the next day is the 19th. Like, am I going to be able to pay my employees?
That's the question.
Because I want to fit the whole, I'm under, we don't have enough money in our That's what I'm trying to do.
Ask them.
So with the days and the time, reading here, will I get paid over next time?
Well,
Well, let me answer that, Kareem. Let Charles answer that.
Charles gonna get his turn.
Okay. Go ahead.
The payroll, or not the payroll. The city has been overspending the budget for I don't even know how long. So, what I'm saying to you is that you overspent the budget last month, but so why is it that He can't make payroll on March 19th because we all put in the budget anyway. That's all.
That's the answer. Can we make, so Charles, can we make the payroll for everybody March 19th, all the employees in the city of East Cleveland, can we make that payroll on March 19th?
First of all, I need to say that
Okay.
That's true.
All right. Okay, so you said, you didn't go, that's what you're saying?
Saying that 90% appropriation, the fiscal commission is looking at a document that the mayor had line item veto. So the appropriations that's put in the system was with the line item veto and replacing certain line items with dollar amounts. So what I'm saying is, my appropriations, I haven't overspent.
Okay.
Now, what the fiscal commission is saying our appropriations are, that's something different.
But my question, can we make the payroll for all the employees, including the new ones, March 19th? That's the question. Because that's what people want to hear. Can we?
I have to contact the fiscal supervisor. I can't make that, sorry, I can't make that answer right now. I have to talk to the fiscal supervisor. And then,
Wait a minute.
And on the line is,
Go ahead. And if there's a problem, I 6,000 or whatever, then can't you transfer something to do that? Huh? All right.
so again, I have to contact it, but we saying all this, like it's the easiest to resolve all this to the mayor's point. If you pass the appropriations sooner than later.
Okay, but you can't pass it with 10 days starting today, so keep that in mind. According to the charter, you can think about both of them, you gotta have a public.
So we have to see what's more important. I hear you saying, so what's your priority? I'm not gonna make this decision. All in this, we're making sure that this is enough money.
Right.
That's up to you.
Okay. So you can't determine whether you have enough money to make the payroll.
We don't have enough. 85%, 30%, so enough, we don't.
Okay, so you made a budget. What do you suggest we can do with it? We can't have the appropriation for 10 days. We agree on that. That's the charter. That's the charter. So what do you do now to make sure everybody gets paid on the 19th? That's my question. Okay.
You say that's the charge, and we've done things both sides. If you wanna argue, we've done both things. You wanna say we've done things that's been the charge. I'll say that differently.
We have. Let me say, Councilman, let me say, so we're under fiscal emergency, so we're under some form of state control. Now, unfortunately, and I don't mean to rub anybody wrong, when they took over the school, they don't belong to you anymore, right? So when they say the fiscal emergency, now you have 85% based on last March's expenditure, that's what we know.
Okay.
Right? 85% of that we have, we don't think. We're under some form of state control.
Okay, so what I'm saying, Charles, you make the contact with the fiscal commission tonight. We can transfer some money out of one of these line items. Central services and education may be, to make sure we make this payroll. Then we're gonna pass this by the 25th. We cannot have nobody getting paid. That's no one go down that road. We need to get it. Okay, come on. All right.
The only fair way to do is to allot 85% per per, department of government.
Okay.
You got the executive, legislative, and judicial branch.
Right.
85% based on what you spent last year. And I gotta hold you to that. I can't let council take money from the justice line and pay council people. I can't let that happen vice versa. I can't take money from the administration to then pay your line item. Right?
So what do you suggest?
I suggest
What do you suggest? Hold it. Also, what do you suggest? This is the way we can get this done. What do you suggest? You make money, what do you suggest?
Pass the permanent appropriations, pass the fiscal recovery plan. Let's go back to the fiscal commission. They lift the 85% and we can do this. How fair is it to take money from one department, a branch of government, and give it to the other one? How fair is it? Take money from one branch of government or one department and give it to the other.
That would be a temporary move. Yeah.
I'm saying, now, the grant we said was, how much is civil service? We got the line item, and we got a whole lot of money, we can get it in 2 weeks. And it's okay, that's all.
But you have to look at the numbers, which is why you
Well,
put them up.
he can put up.
But listen, last year in March, there was no grass cutting.
Okay.
So there's no expenditures for that, so you can't move it anymore. He went over this Monday.
Okay.
Right, so if you need him to go over it again, we can set up another meeting.
What I didn't remember there is civil services, and there's another one that has a whole lot of money, and nobody's part. When we can spend for about $10,000 to make it the paper, so we can get it done. That's what we need to do. That needs to be done. Okay? So it can be, okay, where is money?
$226,000 sitting in the 85% expenditure in central services. A portion of that money should be able to be moved. Yeah, temporarily, so that we can make the payroll and put it back once we approve.
Right, and Charles, payroll is what is it, 250,000 every 2 weeks? What is the, you know that? What is the payroll in 2 weeks? Okay. This ain't your fault. And then we have the 2050 to get this thing done.
Martin.
Okay.
Clerk is saying that we have done in 10 days.
Okay, we got it in 10 days.
So the 10 days are already paid.
Okay, so calculation, where are they right now? The payroll was 230,000. Okay.
So hold on. Can I make a comment?
I don't think that we make it. I have to go back and look at the numbers, to be honest with you. And think about how that is a department that then has to then make payroll in another department or branch of government. Think about that department, right? So something's gotta suffer. You don't fix equipment, you don't fix police vehicles, you don't fix EMS to make the payroll. How fair is that to them?
Yeah, but what we talking about is a week or two, that's all. The world ain't gonna do a week or two. We'll do that, get it done, and then we can go to the permanent appropriation. But the most important thing we can do right now is make sure everybody gets paid. The new employees and everything, you're talking about making $20,000, $30,000 every 2 weeks. We can do that. Okay, come on.
And then Mr. Smith.
Okay. We got two very good recommendations on the table. I think that it was some time ago when we talked about actually allowing the council to do council-specific stuff in support of the mission of the administration. So we have an opportunity to truly dig in. So if you could, Mr. Finance Director, take a look at what resources we have available to us in maintaining the strictest guidelines from the fiscal commission. And if we do have the resources available to us to the benefit of our employees, let's take a look at that, do that in a way that it is a recommendation for realigning of those assets. And if there are assets that you would ask them to realign, also have those realigned to appropriations to balance the deficit line item with the resources that we have. And therefore, we can answer two requirements at the same time. And this is an opportunity for the administration to, in good faith, pay the employees based on the resources that are available, and the council to do a deep dive and reappropriation as necessary, with the strict intent to pass the permanent appropriation as I understand it, it's already been one read, this will be a second read. And as many special meetings that we schedule, we can have one as soon as Tuesday. So if I left my job today, so we can get to the bottom line. So let's focus on getting to that bottom line and have the opportunity to schedule a meeting for Tuesday and pass the permanent appropriation as a second read, if we're all have had our concerns met. Thank you.
There's one correction in that statement. The appropriations is by the finance director. Remember when they the full count.
Let me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just have a quick question. I just want to know which permanent appropriations are now being acknowledged. Because I'm hearing now, I'm hearing second reading, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
But I didn't get, thank you, Councilman. I didn't hear any clarification. Are we using the finance director's permanent appropriations, or are we using Madam Stevenson's permanent appropriations? I really need some clarification on that, because that will also,
I believe we're talking about the mayor's appropriation.
Right.
okay.
That's good. That's great.
And-
Okay, what's the dollar check?
We're gonna get this done.
Listen up. We don't need it, we'll just do that special, you don't necessarily have to be an emergency, we'll just do it as a special meeting.
The legislation will be as an emergency, so it takes action right away.
Okay.
Second read, man. So on the second read, right? Because it's hard over, right? Answer that question. You can have a law answer that question.
Right?
And then we'll know.
So we set for Tuesday. That's what. Okay, and the very line item, and all that we discussed, just do it. I'm gonna have a good year.
And we need the contract for, the tow trucks.
Okay. Before you close, I want to thank everybody for the cooperation.
Yes.
I just want to say something.
All right.
Now, I work in the administration and I also work for whoever calls, residents, council members. Now, the last 2 years, we've been doing good at keeping things together. You know, we didn't have buildings tore down, we worked for police and buildings, fire department. You know, we all been getting new vehicles, we all been freezing our residents. We can't come this far and have all these negativities. I mean, I really don't have to think about that. You know, I'm from East Cleveland, I love East Cleveland, and I work in East Cleveland, and I coach East Cleveland, I do everything in East Cleveland. I talk to every resident around here. Now, we went from getting nothing done to getting everything done. We still got a long way, and we still have a long way to go. We have a business coming in, and we have a council that has really improved the look of the council in a long, and I feel passionate. Everybody have the same passion. Everybody want everything to be right. Nobody want to go to jail. Everything that we go. Nobody wants to get in trouble. Nobody wants their name on something that's not right. I get all that. But at the end of the day, let's not even talk about the employees that get paid. Let's talk about the services that the residents not getting. This is like really important because we all, including you guys on council, we all want to come out of our house and our houses up. We all want to drive out and get a pothole and break our tire. We all want to have a bad that. We all need to deal with that resident that says, hey, you on council or you in administration and I can't get this done. If we have the money there
let's figure this out, let's work together, and let's make it better, let's make it better, because we came from a long way, we really came from a long way. Yeah, we really came from a long way. I have to go, but-
I want to make sure we get the redistribution.
All three of them, right?
Yeah, I just want to make sure, you know.
Okay, before we go, I didn't say it, but first we're gonna close with a prayer by Reverend Small. Okay, wait a minute. I don't know, that on the agenda, but okay. If we got to mark for voting on this agenda, this is a special meeting.
Yeah.
We will, okay, that you say, I need to say that, what I need to say, we'll figure it out. Go ahead.
2 minutes.
No, I have 3 minutes.
Is it 3 minutes on it? All right.
First of all, let me just have a statement about it. This has been totally, somewhat, totally unprofessional. Mr. Chairman, we are elected officials, you're elected officials, and you need to hear what the resident has to say. Y'all bumping out of here. That's totally disrespectful to the resident. The budget. Let's get with the budget. The budget council has been so coercive to pass the budget. They have the sole authority to predict. The whatever department have, they have a right to come before council to say why you need this money. And the council has the authority to ask how many employees in your department, what are they being paid? That is part of the budget that you have. Council has to as to what's going to be passed and what's going to go down south, what have you. And well, we're gonna let you keep walking, but we have authority, we have some more walk out like that, we stop and walk. The mayor does not have the authority.
Keep going.
There he is, right there behind.
The mayor has no authority to dictate to the council or the mayor to hire his employees. He didn't have that authority. And the charter stipulates that you have the sole authority to hire your employees. And what you say, the council has the sole authority to hire their employees. If he never been able to hire. And the finance director must honor that request and pay this. The finance director is the finance director for the city, not for the mayor. And I will tell you something else. Don't do your due diligence and define his position as well as tackling the authority here and the other ordinance. Council has the authority here.
Council has authority to write.
Right, legislation.
They have authority to write or to manipulate.
No. The council has the authority to put it. Finance director, or the law director, the clerk, the they have that authority. Charter gives them that authority to define their position and write the position.
Mr. Mays, your time is up.
Okay.
No, that's not
All right. Go ahead.
So Wilma Hemmings was back here saying that the council's attorney is working pro bono.
Well, we can get about it.
They just agreed to pass this budget, but there was no legit agreement that you're not getting that out of. You didn't even say that you're gonna pay our council return. You didn't say that.
You're gonna get paid for the budget. It's in the budget.
None of you read the fiscal recovery plan, if you will see, and he still says that we're closing the jail. That's still in the plan. Why is that still out of $100 still in the plan about dispatch still in the plan? None of you let it plan. So you gonna pass the plan, you ain't gonna pay enough.
We got the two that they go.
Don't we have to make, according to the agenda, we're supposed to respond to the comments.
Council needs no one in our corner. They will have our-
You were on
Yeah,
we were.
I had my hand up for a long time. I said, I guess I can-
No, we're gonna close the meeting for some reason. It's down here, people right there.
I was talking, but
Yeah, we can't click them off, they click us. So they click us.
Can we close out the meeting?
Can we have a response? Can we have a response to the comments? Yeah, right now. Right now. No, we're not.
If people, the budget ain't getting passed, but now y'all sitting up saying, he's saying that it's right, but just they that's what I'm considering asking, because they right wrong, and you said yes, but then they said that you can only manipulate what's being wrong.
What's your name? Okay, all right. Okay. And what do you do, Dre Hendricks?
That's what I'm problem. You should know.
Well, I should know.
Yeah, you should know. You done tasted my product, you done came and sold me out of some product, you should know what I do.
Oh, you do the wine.
Oh,
okay.
oh,
Wine guy. All right.
oh, you the wine guy. You gotta cut them drinks off.
Hey, I use the wine like that.
I bet you do, it's street. Yeah, you do. Ain't no lights in front of my building. There's potholes in front of my building. I'm caught up on my taxes. I pay all my taxes. Over 11 properties all pay.
What the residents and the businesses need to understand is that the council legislature appropriate. Technically, we don't have anything to do with those that council got in their day-to-day activities. Now, if the lights are out, I will call. I usually sit.
The lights been out for over 2 months.
That's the main purpose, but that's not on the council.
That's the city. That ain't got nothing to do with it.
But I will put in.
The council of my ward is supposed to handle it.
Right. And not only that, it's the city, it's the city.
You the council of the ward.
I'm a counselor, but read my job description. It's online on Facebook. Read it. Yeah, for the council.
We don't
Yeah,
appropriate,
it's online. Can we
Yeah.
adjourn the meeting?
And they're still talking.
I don't
this one mine or yours?
Yeah, that's yours.
Thank you.
I don't talk to the council and right now, the council was saying. They supposed to be coming up there to do something.
I'm sitting here.
Oh, they canceled, y'all.
I didn't cancel it. I got a call and they canceled it.
I have one more.
You want to close the meeting?
Yes, please. Can we close the meeting? Let's close this meeting. Martin, let's close the meeting.
Yeah.
We have to close this meeting.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Okay.
The meeting, I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 1:57 PM.